Our top story: after 7 newborn babies were killed in a major blaze at the Newborn Baby Center Hospital in Vivek Vihar in East Delhi. The Vivek Vihar Hospital, which caught on fire last night, where 7 infants were killed. Now, what we are learning is that the owner of the hospital, Dr. Naveen Kichi, has been arrested. He was absconding since last night when the blaze erupted. Another doctor, Dr. Akash, who was on duty last night, has also been arrested by the police. He has been accused of not having fire safety checks at his hospital. This is Dr. Naveen Kichi. And now, because of his negligence, 7 infants have been killed. Now, reports also suggest that he ran an illegal gas filling business in the ground floor of the building, which led to the initial blast. Dr. Naveen Kichi owns several other baby care centers. The police is mulling the imposition of Section 304, culpable homicide not amounting to murder. A political face-off has also erupted as we are in the final leg of the election cycle, ladies and gentlemen. The BJP has accused the Delhi Chief Minister of negligence. Meanwhile, the Delhi BJP chief has alleged that the Aam Aadmi Party government is responsible for encouraging corruption in each and every department of the Delhi government. But we're getting some more breaking news on this entire matter. This is big breaking news coming in. Now, CNN News 18 has accessed the details of the initial police report, which has revealed some glaring lapses behind the fire. The police report has revealed that the license issued to the hospital expired on the 31st of March 2024, ladies and gentlemen. So the hospital was operating without a license, are the details that we are getting when it comes to this entire ordeal where 7 infants have died, ladies and gentlemen. The license was only for 5 beds, but 12 infants were admitted at the time of the fire. The doctors were not even qualified in neonatal intensive care. The doctors on staff are only BAMS degree holders, is also what we are learning. That is the Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery. There was no fire extinguisher in the hospital for emergencies, ladies and gentlemen. Also, the hospital was not equipped with any emergency exit, is what we are learning. These are some glaring lapses at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, which has led to this huge tragedy in the national capital where 7 infants are now dead, ladies and gentlemen. There are 7 babies who are dead because of these glaring lapses by this particular hospital. And I'm joined by my colleague Anshul Singh, who's been tracking all the developments when it comes to this investigation. Anshul, some glaring lapses coming in: unqualified doctors, an expired license, no fire extinguishers, no emergency exits. This was a disaster that was just waiting to happen.
Well, definitely. And now the bigger question that persists is to, if at all there are other hospitals who are working or functioning in the same manner out here in the national capital. Because of these lapses that this entire hospital was functioning, even the number of beds that were allowed in its initial license, the number of kids that were, or the number of newborn babies or infants that were admitted to the hospital was more than double than what was allowed. There were no emergency exits that were present. So definitely this was something that was waiting to be to take place any day. And but Delhi police, after the investigation, has now gone ahead and added Section 304 and 308 of the IPC as well. And they have gone ahead and arrested 2 people, including the owner of this hospital, Naveen Kichi, has been arrested by the Delhi police. So definitely the investigation is going on, but the manner in which these hospital was actually allowed to function even after having such glaring lapses and expired license is something that is a cause of concern and definitely raises a larger question if at all there are other hospitals who are functioning in the same manner.
Right, so this is the big piece of breaking news that's coming in. And thank you, Anshul, for joining us on the broadcast when it comes to this entire ordeal. But we're getting some more breaking news now, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take you through the different lapses that have come to the light. But what we're learning is now the Delhi government has ordered a magisterial inquiry into the children's hospital fire, which has claimed the lives of 7 infants. That is the piece of breaking news that's coming in, where the Delhi government has now ordered an investigation. A magisterial inquiry has been ordered by the Delhi government as these lapses have come to light, ladies and gentlemen. Glaring lapses have come to light where this hospital was operating without a license. It did not even have qualified staff at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. No emergency exits, and at the same time, there was not even a fire extinguisher to douse the flames as this disaster unfolded last night, ladies and gentlemen. And 7 infants have lost their lives. And now the Delhi government has ordered a magisterial inquiry. Let's get to my colleague Yash Goyal, who's been tracking all the developments. He was at the site today in the morning in the wake of this disaster. Yash, over to you.
Well, Ayushman, the investigation has just found out that the kind of glaring lapses this very facility had, the number one and the most worrying thing is that the license which was given to this very hospital had expired approximately 2 months back, and after that also it was functioning, and it not only functioning but it was actually overburdened, because as per the license which the expired license which this facility had, 5 beds were allowed, and in fact now we are learning that around 12 kids were there who were being treated. So this is a very big lapse which has come to the fore. Like you mentioned, and like my colleague also mentioned, that's how there were no emergency exits in the hospital in case of any untoward incident, and in fact that was very clear that that building is quite depictive of the fact that how that was a very congested facility where treatments were being done. In fact, the victims' relatives had mentioned this very thing when we were speaking to them, that no one from the family was also allowed to stay there during the night. The hospital used to say that yes, the attendants are there to take care of your kids, so you don't need to stay there. So now it makes a lot of sense why they were not allowed to stay. First of all, it was a small facility, and second of all, it was a crowded one because they were treating more than requisite people. And one another very important thing to look at is at this very Dr. Naveen, who has been arrested in this case. He was actually not also qualified to work or to actually attend these kids, because there are 2 types of facility. He was actually MD pediatrician, and in fact if you're treating children in some sort of facilities where more than just you have to do more than just giving prescriptions and actually giving out medicines, you need a BA MS degree, and in fact he didn't have that big degree. In fact, the other doctor who has been arrested, his name is Akash, who is a resident of Haryana, had that degree, and he was there when this incident broke out. So a very unfortunate incident coming on the fore, and in fact the details are also very scary, because the kind of facility which was operated over there, it was almost a death trap. And in fact today it was proven very right how these sorts of glaring lapses could lead to something this unfortunate and this big.
Absolutely. And Yash, please stay with us. We're getting some more details when it comes to this entire investigation. And what we are learning is that as the lens is on Dr. Naveen Kichi, we are learning that an FIR was registered against the baby care center back in 2021, where a nurse allegedly assaulted a child. The FIR was registered against Naveen Kichi himself. So this is not the first time that he's facing the brunt of the law, ladies and gentlemen. At the same time, in the wake of this disaster where 7 infants have lost their lives, what we are learning is that back in 2021, where a nurse allegedly assaulted a child, there was an FIR against Naveen Kichi. Yash continues to be with us on the broadcast. So Yash, at the end of the day, the man has had the run-in with the law in the past as well. Last time it was a nurse allegedly assaulting a child, but now 7 babies are no more.
Well, absolutely. And back in 2021, what had happened was there was a video which went viral, and that came to the fore when the parents of that very kid who was actually assaulted and was hurt by a nurse working over there, and when they approached to the doctor that something like this is happening. In fact, Dr. Naveen had allegedly threatened the parents also in 2021 about not actually giving the complaint, but later a complaint was actually given, and in fact he was made an accused of a harm to the new baby during the treatment, and in fact his facility at that time also, we are learning, that was not registered. So it means that he is an habitual offender. Now big question remains is that was he guarded by some other person or someone in the system? That is yet to be ascertained, because the kind of lapses which have come to the fore are very much to worry about. In fact, at that time in 2021, the case under section 325 was registered, which means, and in fact that very section entails that punishment for the offense of voluntarily causing grievous hurt to a person, because in that video which went viral at that time, clearly showed how the nurse was mistreating that kid, and in fact how the kid was mistreated at that very facility. In fact, now also we compare, the sections are very grave which have been invoked, and this time around the law actually needs to take its course, because last time around he had applied for